Hi everyone, it's your boy Ricky here for Honeybee Stamps. I hope you're doing well today. Thank you so much for being here. In today's video, we are going to be making a lovely birthday card, and I'm so excited because we're going to be using all different kinds of colors and some stencils and all that great stuff. So I'm really excited about that. But before we get started, just to ask you to do a few things. First, subscribe to the channel so that you can see a bunch of artists on the channel and see all their great talented work. Secondly, click that notification bell so that you know a new video has come out. Third, leave some comments down below. We love to have a little conversation with everyone in the comments. And lastly, share the love. If you know someone that may like this video, go ahead and send that out to them. Okay, without further ado, we're going to take a look at some of the items we're going to be using from the latest release for Honeybee Stamps, and then we'll get started. So let's go take a look. Okay, so we're going to be using some white cardstock for the card. We're going to be using these Celebration Pearl stickers. We're also going to be using what is the name of this? Wonderful Wishes stencil set, and along with its coordinating dies. We're also going to be using the You're So Extra birthday stamp set, along with the coordinating dies. And then I believe we're also going to be using some pattern paper from this. So let me get the table set up for the first part of the project. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to do some stenciling of what we're going to be making a cake. So I'm going to go ahead and put our first layer down here. And we're going to do this in light green. This is Celery from Simon Says Stamp. Alrighty. There's our first layer. Then our next layer, we are going to be using Perfection. It's just another green. Perfect. Alrighty. Our next layer, we are going to do, it's going to be a pink. We're going to use Guava. It's a really, really pretty color. Okay. Up next, we're going to use Zest. Perfect. Then up next, we are going to use like a teal color. That looks good. And we're going to use Tide Pool. I guess this is more of an aqua, not a teal. Alrighty, so we got the cake portion done here. So we're going to go ahead and take this off. Ooh, it's really sticky, you guys. I really cleaned that off today. All right, and then up next, we are going to do the candles and the cake base. I'm going to cut this down just, let's see, maybe I don't need to do this. All right. So for the candles, we are going to use yellow or Zest. And then for the next layer, we will use even. So then we'll come in here with the orange. All right, those look perfect. And then what we'll do is the cake base. And I'm gonna have to do this with a paper pouncer for this part because this piece right here is super thin. This little, you can see it's moving there. And we don't want to use a brush on that. We want to use a, like we're going to use a paper pouncer so that we can just pounce on it instead of rubbing it back and forth. So let's just get this. And we're just going to pounce this on. And it's okay if you get ink somewhere else on the paper because this has a die cut. So we will be die cutting this out. I kind of like this with the white actually. I think I'm going to leave it that way. I don't think I'm going to do a second layer. All right, so let me get the desk cleaned up and we'll start on the next process. Okay, so what's great about this set is we have a die set that cuts out this whole piece of cake, the base, and the candles, but also these individual pieces cut out these flowers. So what I'm going to do is we're going to be cutting this out here. And then I'm not for sure, I might cut out a few of these flowers and pop them up. I'm not for sure yet. But what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and run this through the die cutting machine with the matching dies. And then we'll come back and see all the individual pieces that we have left over. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I did decide to go ahead and cut these pieces out, which are here. But I think instead of the pattern paper, I'm actually going to use this embossing folder and emboss a white piece of paper instead. I just kind of feel like this is a lot of color going on, and I'm not for sure if it really needed a colorful background. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a white piece of paper, and then I'm just going to go ahead and find a spot on here that I think would be nice for an emboss look, and we will go from there. So I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine and I'll be right back to show you what that looks like. Okay, so this is what this looks like outside of the embossing folder. I think it's really pretty. You know, it is floral and it, you know, it coordinates a little bit with the cake here. So the first thing I'm going to do is probably go ahead and place this onto the paper here. I want to make sure that I have enough room for everything. So let's make sure. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of this. I'm going to go ahead and get this placed down onto the card base or the card panel. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll do that offline and then I'll bring it back so you guys can see what that looks like. Okay, so I have foam tape on the back of everything here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place this here. And we want to make sure that's in the center. That looks good. Then I have foam tape on the back of this, but what I want to do is kind of glue this on this white part of the cake stand. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue here. Place it along the bottom. So that we know it sticks to the cake. Okay, that looks good. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these pieces here and I'm going to put double foam tape on the back of this so that it's sticking out. So let me go ahead and get all the foam tape on the back of these flowers, and then I'll bring you back and show you what this looks like once they're popped up. Okay, so we have all the foam tape on the back of the flowers. Now we are just going to place them where they're supposed to go onto the card here. And it's just popped up just a little bit. Nothing, you know, too crazy, but enough that you see a difference. So we're just going to pop these guys into place. Should have used my tweezers for this, you guys. There we go. So it's nothing too crazy, but it is popped up a little bit so that you could see that. So next I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this offline, I'm going to do thin strips of foam tape on the back of this, and then I'm going to go ahead and place these onto the card, and I'll be right back to show you what that looks like. Okay, so what we're going to do next is the sentiment, and I'm just going to use this happy birthday here. And we're going to be doing heat embossing, white heat embossing on black cardstock. And so let's go ahead and get that stamped down. We're going to rub it a little bit because it's never been used. And we are going to use a little bit of static powder here so that no embossing powder sticks to this on the cardstock that we don't want to stick. And then let's go ahead and get this stamped out. We're just using some embossing ink, which is just a sticky ink where the powder will stick to it, to whatever we stick down. You don't want to press too hard because you want to make sure that the letters don't get distorted as you're pressing. Okay, that looks good. Let's get the embossing powder out. Okay, that looks perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a heat gun to this, melt the embossing powder, and then cut this out with a die, and then we're going to bring the card back and we're going to put it all together. Okay, we've come to the home stretch of making the card. We are going to go ahead and get this glued down to the card base. There we go. And then we're just going to glue this down straight to the cake. Then I thought we could just add a few of these little pearls here. Let me get, here we go. So maybe just add a few of these on the card here. Do a yellow one here. Okay, you guys, this is the completed card. Take a look at that. Super cute and pretty. There we go. So it's super cute. It has some pearls here on it to give it a little bit of bling, a little bit of touch. I love the white background with the embossed flowers. Looks super nice. Really, really pretty card here that we have. All right, so I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I'm glad you stuck around with me as we made this beautiful card. Check out all the links down in the description to look at the products that I used today. Also, leave some comments down below. Tell me what color combinations you probably would have used on these flowers. And leave the comment flower if you got all the way to the end, because that lets me know you watched me all the way through. Lastly, click that notification bell so that you know new videos are coming out, and of course subscribe to the channel. You can find me over on YouTube by searching for Bromero Cards, and also on Instagram by searching for Bromero Cards. So until next week, I will talk to you soon. Bye!